On October 24, 1975, about 90% of the female population of Iceland decided that they were tired. Decided that they were tired of not being appreciated, of not being paid what they were worth, and decided to do something about it. So on the 24th of October, they went on a march. Not only that, they didn't do anything. They went on strike. They didn't do anything at work. In fact, they didn't go to work. They didn't do any housework. They didn't take care of the kids. Nothing was done by this 90% of the female population. Everything was left for the men to take care of. And by the end of this day, I would imagine that the men realized what it took, just how much effort, how much hard work, how much logistical thinking it took to make everything work seamlessly. What looked effortlessly, they found out wasn't without effort. Welcome to Coffee with Amy. How are you doing? Before we go into what I want to talk about today, please subscribe. I've noticed quite a number of people listen but not subscribe. Please subscribe if you enjoy what you're listening to. Subscribe, like, and share. Okay, so I'm still looking at the things that that stood out for me, the lessons, I'll say, the lessons that I learned from the 6888 movie. One of the things that I realized, just like these women, the women in this movie were given a task that was quite hard, almost impossible. In fact, what they were being asked to do had been tried. Other group of women have tried to do it, but it didn't work. They were not successful. Now they were being told to do this. And I felt, where I don't want to, in case someone doesn't watch, I don't want to say much about it, but I felt that it was almost like being set up to fail. You know, when you look at the conditions that they had to work in, when you actually look at the task itself, it was an almost impossible task. And yet, these women stood up. I would say stood up to be counted, but they stood up and they took on this challenge because that's what it became for them. It was now a challenge to see, or to show these people who didn't think they could do it. The pressure was intense from the attitude of those that were supposed to be supporting them. I felt they needed the support, but the support wasn't there. The pressure to succeed for themselves, for their own self-worth, for their own dignity. That's the way I saw it. It was there. And that's what happens with us women today. We are told to do so many things and to do it simultaneously. We have situations, I was saying to someone this afternoon, everybody's going through something. Everybody has got issues right now to deal with. Women have to deal with emotional, financial, mental stuff simultaneously and are still expected to function normally. Take, for example, a couple come back from work. The man puts his suitcase down, sits in front of the TV. The wife puts her bag down and goes to the kitchen to start the dinner. Isn't that what happens? And it's almost like the men don't realize that they are both coming in from work. They have both had a long day. Why is it our duty now to go to the kitchen? Why don't they go together? You understand what I'm saying? So women, we are carrying our homes, our children, our work responsibilities, expectations, grief. Some of us are going through that. We are carrying our angers at life or at people, and the emotional pressure, everything. We are doing it all at once. And some are better than this than others, I have to say. But still, all women are going through it. And the most annoying thing that I hear, maybe not the most annoying, but one of the annoying things that I hear is the question, why are you tired? And I don't know where to start because I'm not really sure the person asking why are you tired, or why are you always tired? Why are you so tired? I'm not sure they really want to know. It's almost like we are making conversation, you know? Some women are living on survival mode. Let me just make it through, not even through this day. Sometimes it's, let me make it through this meeting. Let me make it through dropping the kids at school. Let me make it through the shopping. Let me just be able to put things together so that there's food on the table tonight. Let me find time. You can't even find time for yourself, but somehow you find time for everybody else. You're always the last person. And the women in this movie, they put all their arguments onto what they were, not all their, they did not argue with the people who gave them this task to do. Even the living conditions, I remember the living conditions were so bad. And when she was asking, so the leader was asking, like, this is where we're going to sleep, was like, yeah. Like I said, it was like they were expected to fail just so that they could say, oh, well, you came, you couldn't do this. And they just took all that energy, all that anger. I think some of them are really, really angry. There's a woman that I really like, the one that ran away from her husband. But they took all this, bent up energy, all this, I'm going to show you. For me, that's how I am. You think I can do something, and the funny thing is, it might not be something I even want to do in the first place. But just because I feel you've belittled me, you've underestimated what I can do, then I'm going to show you. And I think that was some of that was in the movie. So you focus on the assignment that you are given. And wow, did they focus on this assignment? At a particular point, it was like a well-oiled machine, that just runs smoothly, again, seamlessly. Everyone thinks it was without effort, but we know how much effort we put in it to make it look like it just happened, And we're just absolutely amazing women, aren't we? Amazing creatures, I would say. So we focus on this. We are consistent. We are doing what needs to be done. We're finishing what needs to be finished. And most of the time, I won't say just sometimes, most of the time, we are thinking of ourselves last, if we think ourselves at all. I personally, like I said, I don't like it when I'm being underestimated. And I think most women are generally underestimated. What we are capable of doing. If you look at different fields and you look at whether it's engineering or medicine or in physics, in sciences, in mathematics, there are women who have invented things that we're using today. There are women who have excelled in that field. There are women who have triumphed over all kinds of odd things that people will not like. So one of the things, okay, I'm stammering a bit, forgive me for that. One of the things that came out from the Women's Day off in Iceland was that the government had to look at the disparity in pay, in the office. And up till today, in so many parts of the world, women are still paid less than men for doing the same work. Women that can even do this work better than a man. That's why you find some of us working longer hours than the man, just to show that we're not the weaker sex. Not taking time off when we should, just to show that we're not the weaker sex. Because every single thing that you do, you're like under a microscope, isn't it? We actually are stronger than, maybe physically we're not as strong, but our tenacity, women are so tenacious, aren't we? We dig our heels or we dig our feet into something, and until we get that thing, we are not moving. Even when you think, no, I'm not like that, you actually are. Look at the things that you find interesting. Look at the things that matter to you. Are you flippant about it? Are you nonchalant about whichever way it goes? Is oh, Sarah? No, it's not. You dig your heels in, and until you get what you want, you're not moving. Every little thing is a victory. You might not look at it now, you might not think you've achieved something, but you actually are. We have survived disappointment, we have survived being jilted, we have survived being dumped by men, we have survived even children not liking us at some point. We have survived bosses, unfortunately even female bosses, but we've survived horrible bosses. We have survived being pushed around, and we have come out stronger. We have come out stronger. We have survived different difficult seasons in life. Things have been rough. If we just look at the last few years with COVID, things have really been rough. So many households lost the breadwinner of the house, and women haven't fallen apart. Yes, things were rough, but then you gather yourself together and you start again. We show up no matter what the difficulty is, no matter what the season we are going through personally, we show up. There are days when you don't feel like getting out of bed, but then your child has to go to school or something needs to be done for somebody else, you get up. You find the strength somewhere to get up. Our strength is quiet. Our strength is, I think our strength is constant, if that makes sense. But we grow up. We get up. There is nothing, almost nothing that we cannot do. There is the feeling that this is impossible, but until we actually start doing whatever it is, we don't know what we're capable of. And sometimes we surprise ourselves. I know I do. I surprise myself. And I look like, did I really do that? When we put our mind to something as a woman, we discover strength that we didn't know that we have. We discover strength that we need to carry on. We discover strength that it was just there. We just didn't know it was there. This evening, I went for a memorial service for a wonderful, wonderful woman who lived to over 80 years. And when I was listening to different people talking about her, I realized that, yes, this is a woman. She came through the rough times. She pushed, she made a way, found a way. Whichever way it was, found a way. She put her children first, pushed, pulled, encouraged, shouted, I gave them shoulders to cry on, did what needed to be done as mothers, but she didn't give up. And I'd just like to encourage anybody, somewhere, I don't know when you're going to listen to this, I would like to encourage you that you've got that strength. You have the strength to carry on, even though you don't know it yet. Remember, subscribe. It's been Coffee with Temi. I'll see you. I think I have one or two more things that I learned from the movie. And I'll see you next week. Bye for now.